Hi, this is Dan for Tech Digest and Shiny Shiny, and I'm here today looking at the Nikon D300 digital SLR camera. Now, this is an old camera. It's very old. It's a year and a half old, which seems like an eon in Techland. But the reason I'm looking at it is because it's currently, you can pick one of these up for around £950. But on Tuesday, Nikon are going to be making an announcement. And I know that soon they're bringing out the successor to this, the Nikon D400, and that's going to be sometime in the next few months, I'm pretty sure. So I was thinking that if that happens, this one's going to drop in price by a couple of £100 with any luck, and that will bring it in range of the Nikon D90, which is currently available for £650. Now, the deal is that the D300 is the bottom end of the professional cameras that Nikon do, whereas the D90 is the top end of the consumer cameras. But the thing they were particularly proud of the D90 about was making it as similar to this one as possible, but at the same time being within reach of the consumer. So I wanted to look at whether in fact this was the case, and really if they did match up. And once the price of this has dropped, and they're fairly similar, which would be a better option? So, they're pretty similar on the whole. They've got the same 12.3 megapixel CMOS sensor, and that's all powered by the Nikon X-Speed processor as well, so everything comes through that, processed through the Nikon X-Speed. They've both got the same ISO range of 200 to 3200, which of course can be boosted out between 1000 and 6400. Very impressive stuff. They've both got the same lovely 3-inch LCD on the back with nigh on 1,000,000 pixels with the cover, which I'll take off just for you guys. They've got the same 51-point autofocus system. They've got very similar menus, which I'll show you. The menu's pretty similar here to the D90. You've got your really nice 3-inch screen there. It's an LCD with 920,000 pixels on it, so just shy of 1,000,000 there. It's pretty similar, like I say, to the D90. Nikon say it's very different. Personally, I wasn't looking that close, I imagine, at the old one because I find them quite similar to use. You've got your focus points here. You can either go single or to the full 51 up there. They say that the D90 is a bit simplified on the menu, a bit more consumer-fied, but I wouldn't say that. I think they're very similar, both very usable. But I did find some differences, and there is definitely one I prefer to the other. The differences, though, are very, very small. Things that you might not think about if you're a manufacturer. Things that are really... they feel like the difference between a consumer and a professional photographer. For one, very simple difference. The Nikon D90 runs on a SD card. These run compact flash. Don't know why. I just prefer working with compact flash. Also, another small difference. The Nikon D300 has 100% of the shot in frame through the viewfinder, whereas the Nikon D90 has 96%. Not a huge thing, but it's a small difference, and sometimes they count. Quite a big one of these small differences for me is that the Nikon D90 will take pictures at its fastest at 4.5 frames per second, whereas this one will do 6 frames per second. Doesn't sound like much, but it makes a difference. I took this home to take some pictures of my little niece, 6 months old, and babies obviously they move around quite a lot. And if you're taking 6 frames a second, this you tend to get everything, and it's pretty unblurred as well if you've got the right settings. I was really impressed. As well, it's just things like the controls. I don't know if you can see that from there, but they put a lot of the the ones you're going to use as more of a more keen photographer within easy reach, like the white balance and the ISO and the quality of the footage you're taking. And what I like down here at the bottom as well is the shooting mode. You can just go from straight shooting, go to fast shooting there, or high speed continuous shooting as well. And you can see high speed, you're getting about, and there's your 9 shots, all coming out at different exposure settings. And it very nicely takes them off the top so you can see which ones are being shot at any one time. Now, like I say, I think it pretty much does that on the D90 as well, but that 6 frames a second just makes a bit of a difference. It's just a bit better. Things that you don't get with this, that you do get on the D90 because it's a much newer model, there's no 720 HD video recording on this. That's D90 only. That's really a much more consumer thing. Personally, it's not really up my street. I bought a digital SLR camera. I want to take photos. I don't really want to take video with it. I can understand if you do, but I don't. Also, the menu control on the back is a little bit squishy with this one. It's easy to press the wrong thing, whereas in the D90 it's much more clear. There's a certain amount, what I'm trying to say is there's a certain amount of luxury and refine that goes with the D90, a bit more like driving a Lexus. Whereas something like this just feels a bit more raw and a bit more performance, more like a Porsche. I think at the end of the day, you're getting a very similar output, very good photos, but I just prefer using this one.